describing something that happened between two guys. And what happens is that a young man gets his bicycle punctured on the road when, see here, when this charming man appears in a car and he offers him a ride. And I think this charming man is, like, I think he's rich, because I think charming car, I interpret it as it being like, having like, or it being a little luxurious, a little expensive, so that's how I saw it. And this sentence, I had a little hard time with that one, because what it came down to, I think that there is something that this young man is worried about, something that he's about to do, and he's nervous, and he doesn't think he has courage. And I will get to that later in the song, because I think there's another part in the song that describes that as well, so I will get to that. And this part was a little hard as well. I thought about a lot of different complicated things when I heard that, but then I just saw the obvious, and I think this part just justifies the fact that he gets in the car with him. He accepts the ride, so he gets in the car, because why pamper life's complexity? Like, why would you make it harder for yourself? Because he doesn't have his bicycle, so he has to walk, and someone is offering him a ride, so it's obvious to accept the ride. So he gets in the car with him, and
pamper means to...
Oh. Jag vet inte hur man säger på svenska, men...
In English.
It's... Jag hittar ingen synonym. I can't find a synonym.
Is it to think about, wonder on?
Pamper is, to, embrace it, or something like alltså, I don't mean it like that, but in this context. So he shouldn't, he's not going to walk, so he gets in the car with him. And this sentence is describing the conversation that these two men have in the car. The young man describes that he wants to go out, but he doesn't have anything to wear, so he stays at home. And I think that's a hint that he might be gay, because I know the song is about homosexuality. And I think, not going out because you don't have any clothes, I think that's maybe a little more associated to girls than guys, so that could be a hint. That's how I saw it. And then this charming man says that it shouldn't matter that he doesn't have any clothes, because he's so naturally charming and handsome that would compensate for that. And that you could see that in two ways. It could be just polite, encouraging, or it could be another hint, and it could be some modest flirting, but it could be two ways there. And I found this part a little hard as well, or a little confusing, but I think that the conversation in the car continues, and the young man admits, or he explains that he's about to propose to someone. And I also think that might be the thing that he's worried about. He's about to propose to someone, but he's nervous about it, and he's afraid, and he's asking for advice from this man, but he doesn't think it's a good idea. This charming man doesn't think it's a good idea to propose to this person, and he knows so much about these things, so you just have to figure out what these things are. And the way I think it has something to do with money, because the jumped-up pantry boy who never knew his place, I think that is the charming man's idea of the young man, first impression. Because I looked up pantry boy, because I didn't know what it meant, and it said a servant from a lower class. So I guess that this young man might be from a lower class, and he has a bicycle, he doesn't have a car. So he might be from a lower class, and this person that he's proposing to might be someone from a higher class, you know, a little richer. And I stated before that I think that this Charlie man is from the higher class, so he knows how it works in that society, and he knows that it's not appropriate for someone from the higher class to marry someone below them, you know, from the lower class. So, and he also knows where these people have their priorities, and I think that people from the higher class may value their reputation and position and power, sometimes maybe over love, so that they value that more. And I think he might know that, so he can just predict that this young man will be rejected if he asks this person to marry him, because he thinks that he might be rejected because this person might care more about his or her reputation more than love. So that's my analyze from the lyrics. But then when it came down to find a purpose, I couldn't really find a clear message hidden in the lyrics. Or I'm sure it absolutely could be some message in the lyrics, but I think that the main purpose that Morrissey had when he wrote the song was to just show a different side of homosexuality in the 80s, because he couldn't really relate to the mainstream gay culture in the mid-80s, and I think the mainstream gay culture was maybe very glamorous, very out there, almost slightly vulgar, and he didn't want to be defined as that, and he just wanted to show that it doesn't have to be like that. And I think his purpose was to show that maybe your sexuality doesn't define you, because you see in this text that they use very proper words like gruesome and handsome, so that's maybe the opposite. And I think he wants to show that we're all human in the end, and we just love different people. And I think his purpose was to just show a different side of it, and to show that your sexuality doesn't define you.
Yeah, it's not hard to see from the first look of it. Yes. What do you wonder? Questions?
Do you think the song is dedicated to gay people or to people in general to understand their,
I think it is for just people in general to just show a different side, just not to judge, because I think maybe in the mid-80s when people heard the word homosexual, they immediately thought about this, slightly vulgar, glamorous guy who goes to clubs, and I think he just he wanted to show a different side, that it doesn't have to be like that. So I think that was the purpose.
is Morrissey homosexual?
He doesn't define himself as a homosexual, but he doesn't really define himself as anything. He says that he's tired of women and he's tired of men, so he's not really a homosexual, but he's not straight or bi. He doesn't define himself as anything.
Were they open when they wrote this song? Was it open? Was it like they were a group who came out and made song texts that were supported?
I don't know. I think they had gotten maybe a lot of criticism for being so provocative. A lot of people don't like that he has so many opinions. But I think they also get a lot of support. If they didn't get support, I don't think that they would continue.
Do you know what desolate means?
I think it's that. I don't know the synonym in English, but I think it means that.
You need to press
First to remove.
the computer.
should I press?
Any more questions?